Welcome back to the Sage Skills Lab, where we turn insight into action. Every video here gives you one science-backed skill, one practical action, and one key takeaway to make you a sharper, stronger leader. And today we're building your Hybrid Team Playbook. It's the framework that you need to lead a team where humans and AI agents work side by side and where you stay firmly in control. Last week, we discussed why smart leaders treat AI like a new hire and not just a tool. And if you missed it, it's in the link below. But once you bring AI agents into your team, what happens next? If an AI agent can execute workflows independently, how does your role as a leader change? Let me explain that. If your value is based on assigning daily tasks, that role is at serious risk. And in a world where autonomous agents execute workflows 24/7, traditional task management breaks down. The future doesn't belong to tech experts who write clever prompts. It belongs to what we like to call orchestrators of outcomes. Your role is shifting from managing workloads to managing workflows, interfaces, and psychological boundaries. And it's really important that you become a master of these particular skills as well. Now, it might sound simple, but in order to lead a hybrid team, you actually need to think about getting a new org chart or how you place people in workflows and get agents and workflows to work together. Let me try and draw this out. Typically, a manager sits at the top, managing a group of people who are executing tasks manually. Maybe they use tools, maybe they don't. And when someone used AI, it was just a personal shortcut. This person might be able to do their job faster, kind of a silent tool that sits on top of their desktop. That model is actually long gone. In a true hybrid team, the structure evolves. The model actually elevates your people. They're no longer at the bottom executing tasks. They're elevated to digital asset managers or workflow managers. They're orchestrating 2 or 3 specialized autonomous agents. For example, your human copywriter now manages an SEO research agent and a formatting agent. Their KPI is no longer execution speed, it's orchestration, logical alignment, and quality control. This shift addresses a deep anxiety. AI isn't here to replace your people, it's here to elevate them to higher order responsibilities and contributions. It can make their job more exciting, and it can also help them stand out and feel more value added, but they need the right skills to do that. And they're not the only ones who need new skills. In order to make this structure work, leaders also need 3 critical skills: collaborative intelligence, AI literacy, and psychological safety building. The first 2 are straightforward. Collaborative intelligence is actually about mapping your workflows and intentionally delegating data-heavy automation to AI, designing human roles focused strictly on strategy, ethical judgment, and creative problem solving. The second one, AI literacy. You don't really need to be a data scientist, but you have to be able to spot where algorithms fall short, like bias or hallucinations. And true leadership means maintaining a human in the loop. It's people involved in the process and critically questioning AI insights before they drive your strategy, not finding out after they've made the mistakes. But the third skill is our primary focus today. It's psychological safety building and change management. Integrating AI can naturally trigger fears of obsolescence, and we as leaders have to use our high emotional intelligence skills to build a culture of safety. And by transparently framing AI as a tool that amplifies rather than replaces your team, you shift people and your teammates from fear to active experimentation. And that's a powerful way to approach this. And so what I'm trying to say is that managing a hybrid team might be even more difficult because it takes stronger psychological leadership skills. And we have to coach our team to override 2 major traps. The first one is automation bias. And that's the blind acceptance of AI data simply because it feels easier, you think it might have covered the world, whatever the case, just allowing it to dictate whatever the information is without checking it means you might have unchecked errors that slide through, and that can be catastrophic. Second is defensive silence. Now that's where employees quietly check out and just stop contributing or even thinking because they feel replaced or because they feel like they don't really understand or have a role here. Without your team's active involvement, I mean the human judgment, the context, and the nuance that they bring, those are quietly stripped from your business. And this is exactly why many of our clients use our data-driven psychometrics to spot these natural tendencies and coach their teams through the tech adoption process before these things happen. And by understanding how they're wired and helping them understand that these are natural human challenges, you can help them overcome these traps, and they can all participate and be more engaged in taking your business to the next level. Now, once your team embraces their roles as digital asset managers, you need a practical tool to help them overcome the workflow. We call these Guardrail Gates. Autonomous agents have massive leverage but zero common sense, and you should never allow an agent to execute a workflow end-to-end without the human in the loop. So sit down with your team and build 3 explicit guardrail gates into the process. These are measurable thresholds where AI must pause and wait for a human to sign off. Now the 3 gates are pretty simple. They're financial gates, sentiment gates, and strategic gates. Financial gates are anything over a set dollar amount, like a client quote or a refund, and this requires a human to click send or continue the process. Just an approval to sense check whether that number is right. A sentiment gate is actually when a client's language hits a threshold, and maybe it's a threshold of frustration. It's when the AI has to instantly hand off to a manager. You could probably recognize this if you've ever worked with a bot while you're trying to book a plane ticket. When you keep answering the same question 3 times in a row, clearly it's not getting it, and the frustration starts to rise. You can see it in your language. That's what we call a sentiment gate. Now, the third is a strategic gate. Any report or asset that you want to produce or that becomes part of your business, you need to make sure that it's reviewed for organizational nuance and alignment before it's presented to any stakeholders. And this is a serious one too, because one misstep, one unchecked fact can actually send you off in a different direction. And there are some pretty serious consulting firms out there who have actually experienced this same problem and gone in a very dark direction. Don't be one of them. This will help you stay out of the fire. So here's your practical action for today. Before your next team meeting, identify just one workflow where an AI tool is currently being used. Map it from start to finish. And look for the gap where an AI flaw or hallucination could reach a client without anyone reviewing it. That gap is your first guardrail gate. Define it, write it down, and share it with your team. That single action moves you from someone who uses AI to someone who leads it. It's great that AI can now function as part of our workforce, but it needs explicit structure, boundaries, and guardrails to succeed. It needs a leader who knows how to get the best of every team member, human or digital. And to build your hybrid playbook, start smart. Head over to TalentSage.com to find out how to prioritize where your team needs you most. Our clients use our scientific data and personality profiles to reduce the friction of tech adoption and safely deploy their hybrid playbooks. And if you found this session useful, hit like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week. And until then, be human, lead better.